Oh. What's up, guys? Colton here with ACS. We're going to go through tinting on the back window of this Subaru Outback. So this customer had their tints done a few weeks ago, but they actually had their dog scratch up the inside of the film, and so asked if we would go ahead and redo it for them. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Normally we would start by peeling off the old film, but it was a fresh enough tint job that the film really just peeled right off, so there's nothing to it. But yeah. So first things first, we're going to clean the area, especially the surrounding area if the car is dirty like this one is. Just give it a good dusting. Oh. And the chemical that I'm using for this is called pre-tack. It's from Flex Film. It's just a preparation solution and a glass cleaner. It works really good to just like pull up all of the like dust and stuff that sticks. It breaks that kind of hydrostatic bond or whatever it's called that makes the dust stick to the paint and to the glass. So works really great. Just one run of that. Let's see here. Get my trash can. Oh, next thing is to measure out our window. Well, we want to go a little bit over, so I'm going to say 27, 28. And we did a 20% ceramic on this car. We did 15% on the front windows and then 20% on the rear windows. So we're just going to do 20% again. So I'll pull that out to 20. We'll do 28 just to be safe. Pull that out just like so. There it is. No, it's not. That's not the knife I want. Just want to make sure we've got a fresh knife blade on there. It's really important that your knife blade be brand new whenever you're making these cuts, because otherwise you're going to get a bunch of nasty chinks and stuff. You're not going to get good smooth cuts. So I don't know if that's a good one, but we're going to replace it anyways, just in case. All right. Oh, we've got our measured out. Let's get her a little loose. I just go almost all the way to the ends and then just rip off the last little bit. Oh. Next thing that's important is that tint is directional. So it'll only shrink one way, up and down. So you need the direction that you pull out to be the direction that you put against the window. Oh. Just a little bit of solution on there. Give her a decent little tack down so it's not going anywhere. And the easiest way that I've found is to literally just take a marker, go up against, all the way down to the bottom. Find that bottom edge there. Find that front edge. All the way to the top. Both sides. Make sure you're good there. Now, if you want to trim up a little bit, just so you don't have too much excess film hanging out, you can definitely go ahead and do that. A bit of a messy cut there, but doesn't really matter. Safe thing to do with your excess tint is just throw it on top of the car. You can throw it on the ground, but I mean, you stand the risk of busting your ass, slipping. You'd be surprised how slippery tint is whenever it's just sitting on the ground, especially if we got clean floors. Oh. Woo. That's why you want it tamped down good, because it'll peel off on you like that. Oh. Next thing to do is going to be this top edge. So I'm just going to turn the car on real quick. Open this door, peel the bottom up just a little bit, and roll down just a few inches. And you can turn the car back off. Careful not to smash the tint in the door. Trim off pieces so you don't do that as well. So now we've got the window rolled down, space here. Easiest thing to do. Give yourself lots of blade. Don't want short blade. And if it's not a fresh blade, you're going to want to go ahead and snap off a few just to make sure you got a nice, fresh, sharp piece. Just go in at the corner. Slide cleanly along the top edge. And peel up. It's okay if it's not perfectly clean cut around the corners. We're going to take it off and we're going to clean that up ourselves. So just going to pull this here. I'm going to take it over. We'll get some soap and we'll take it over to our peel board. All right, so now that we've got it up on our peel board, get it tamped down on there. Woo. Now we can go along, neat up those edges. Pull that right off. Boom, and you got nice, clean top edges. And my straight edge isn't quite long enough. That's okay. Just got to be careful. I've got a longer one here, but it's kind of big. I don't know if I want to use quite that long of one. So where I marked for the sides of my windows, I just want to go over about 1/8 of an inch. Get a nice clean line over from there. Nice clean edge. You can go just a little bit longer on these sides because it's going to tuck down inside of the trim on the side of the window. On some of them, and you'll see later on this one, they don't have much trim on the side of the windshield because it's just a separator between two window parts, and so you want to leave a little bit less space on those sides, and that's just something you kind of got to learn as you're doing it, as those come up. And it pays to really take your time and make sure you're lining these up. If you're like me and you get just a little bit of a chink right there, then you come down and shave it nice and clean. On the bottom edge, you can leave a little bit more. I like to leave probably, I don't know, a 1/4 inch. You want it to go down and tuck inside those the trim piece on the bottom, but you don't want it to be too long because then you're just going to have too much material and you're going to have a hard time tucking that. Then this is a personal preference, but I like to come in here and round these corners. It's going to be completely covered up by the body panel of the car. You won't see it. But it just seems to me that a rounded corner tucks easier than a sharp pointed corner. It seems like they kind of like to fold back on you. And if you round it just a little bit, then it doesn't seem to want to do that. All right. So now we've got a cut window. Now the next part is going to be shrinking our newly cut piece of tint. Because if we want it to fit flat against this curved piece of glass, we have to shrink it so that it fits the curve. So the way to do that is we bring it up a little bit. You want to give it about 2 inches just from the bottom. And then the long side, which on these it's pretty even, so you can probably get away with either side on this one. You're going to want to come right up to the edge on it, let the other side overlap a little bit, and then we're going to peel off with our, do a little tamp right here, but we're going to peel off, and then we're going to come gently, just as we lay down, we're going to pull the tension, and then down along the bottom, and that's going to leave us a couple fingers here right in the middle. And that is what we're trying to shrink out. I'm actually going to redo this one a little bit. That was perfectly on the line, and that's okay. If you got to restart, you know, better fix it now than fuck it up and have to restart all the way. You know? Boom, just like that. I'm gonna get my heat gun. Let it heat up. Start from the tops of the fingers, just till they start to get wibbly wobbly, like so. Just brush it on out. And it's just going to be like a game of whack-a-mole. They'll start to get smaller, but more numerous. And we'll just slowly kind of work them on out, just like that. Yeah, I'm gonna grow slither snakes. A couple little ones here at the bottom. Like I said, it's just whack-a-mole. See what the bottom ones. All right. Let's see. All right. Beautiful. Now we've got a prepped piece of tint ready to be thrown on the inside of the glass. So for now, I'm just gonna stick this back up on our peel board so it's out of the way. So first things first, clean the inside of the glass. Same stuff we were using to clean the outside of the glass. Grab a razor blade. Oh. Give it a good scrape. See, right there's a little bit of adhesive that was left on it from the old tint. But that seems to be about the only spot that there was any excess adhesive left over. This window should be pretty clean. Oh. Do the top edge real good. That one's got some adhesive on it too, right there. Now we got it a good scrape. Roll it back up. And you can set up your car on a battery tender. I just am lazy, so I didn't do that. Sue me, you know? So now I'm just gonna grab a little scrubby pad. Get some soapy water on there. Give this window a good scrub. Nice, clean. Now, the reason I started with the window all the way up, and then I'm going to come back and roll the window down, is because when we do the tint, we want to start with the window rolled partially down so that we can get this top edge matched up and nice and clean. So we want to do that bottom part first, and then we'll clean this top part and squeege the top part. That way we don't have to move the glass anymore and risk any more contamination getting around to the edges. Now I give it a good scrub. And cleaning is really important. It's probably the most boring and lamest part of the job. Everybody just wants to actually do the tinting, but it's super important because it's one of those situations where an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When you get contamination up in the windows, it is very hard to get out. So as much prevention as you can take to stop that, the better. All right, now we've got a prepped and clean window. We can peel the backing off of our tint from the peel board, and then stick it on there. First thing I like to do is get it real wet, like real wet. Probably gonna spray it some more too. We'll peel our backing off of our tint, spray that down just as much. We'll get her there. You can never have too much moisture in there. So long as you got plenty of soapy water up there, you can take your time. Slowly get the top edge just right where you want it. Give it a good strong tamp along the sides. You can still adjust after you've done the tamp. You've got a while before it'll lock itself down, a few minutes at least. Find it exactly where you want it. Pat it on down. The film itself reacts to pressure. So the more pressure you put on it, the more it's going to stick. So if you want to move it along, give it a light tamp, ready. Give it a nice heavy tap. If you're satisfied with your edge, you can go ahead and roll her up. Oops. Oh. Oh, top corner wanted to pull up just a little bit on that one, so I rolled it back down just a bit, tucked the top corner, and then went over it with my corner card just to make sure that it's pushed down in there. Now from the bottom, we'll come back at it with a good bit of juice. Come down here, start tucking. How did I lose my corner card already? Slowly work it into place. Get the edges tucked under their corners. Beautiful, just like that. And then a little extra juice just so that your squeegee isn't catching. And all that moisture out nice and smoothly. You want to push it out the same way that you shrunk it, so from top to bottom. Push it all the way out underneath that seal at the bottom of the window. If your squeegee's too fat to fit under there, that's okay. We'll get to that in just a sec. Get as much as you can with your squeegee on the edges. And using your corner card. Come along the sides. Push that moisture down and out. Just like that. And once you've got it on to your satisfaction, give it a close. clean up the window. Inspect for any bubbles or lifts or imperfections in the tint. Looks good to me. That's how you tint a window.